Wow, that was quick. Yep, sure it is.
And a smashed windscreen, complete with rock inside.
Oh, no, no.
A hiker reviewed his photos and found a figure hidden in the forest behind him. Hours later, another group would discover they were being watched inside an abandoned asylum. And that's only the beginning. On February 2nd, 2004, a man named Michael Lacoma was camping near Fresno, California for the weekend. During that trip, he captured footage on his cell phone that he claims he still cannot explain. The video appeared in a documentary uploaded by Fierce Earth Productions. The documentary was posted around 15 years ago and gained more than 200,000 views before the channel became completely inactive. Based on the way it was presented, it may have been a pilot episode for a series the producers hoped to develop.
Alright, here we are once again camping. Beautiful view. It's nice to get away, get some peace and quiet. You get to check out this hill up here. Great scenery. Get an idea of where I'm at. Oh, look at the shape up there. Oh my God. It's like a wolf, but holy crap. I don't think I should be up here. I think I should be getting...
In the footage, a figure can be seen moving on all fours, covering long distances with bounding strides as it traveled down a hillside toward him. The video quality is extremely poor, but that was typical for cell phone cameras in 2004. The documentary later featured an interview with Michael, where he gave a detailed account of what he saw that day.
Up here, kind of filming, so my girlfriend could see what's going on where I'm at. And I heard a little noise up the hill here, like an animal's running around. You look up here, these boulders, I seen something that looked like a wolf jumping in and out, but it was on 2 feet.
The documentary also mentioned another point: wolves had disappeared from California by the early 1900s. After establishing that, it shifted to a second segment involving 3 boys in Bakersfield, California. One of them, Matthew, never made it back home.
Matthew, putting on your shoe? What happened?
I found a shovel!
What are you guys doing? We have to go, come on! Austin, come on! Matthew, let's go! Matthew, let's go! No, we have to go!
I'm towing!
Alright, fine! It's all on you!
The film showed his parents being informed of his disappearance, then included interviews after his body was found. Some of the images shown from the scene were graphic. However, no news articles, public records, or online sources have been found confirming that a boy named Matthew Liam was killed by a wild animal in California in 2004. That lack of evidence raises serious questions about whether the documentary was showing real events or something staged. Even so many viewers in the comments believed it was genuine. The creature seen in the footage does not resemble any animal known to currently live in that area. What do you think Michael actually recorded on camera that day? This encounter comes from Joe and Elliot, the explorers behind the YouTube channel Ghost Theory, a channel focused on investigating some of the world's most haunted locations. On June 2nd, 2024, they decided to spend the night inside one of the UK's most notorious abandoned mental asylums. The building had been deserted for more than 30 years, slowly deteriorating behind thick forest. It carried a dark reputation linked to deaths, unexplained events, and stories that something still remained within its decaying halls. After making their way through the surrounding woods, they reached the structure. Crumbling walls, long dark corridors, and an eerie stillness greeted them immediately.
Hello everybody, so we have found our camping spot. So we've decided actually that due to the amount of dust and everything, we thought it'd be best to go somewhere where there's quite a lot of ventilation, and where better than outside. So basically, we are going to be camping on this lovely roof area.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest, since from the last time, we're not going to do much sleeping, are we?
Concerned about the condition of the lower floors, they chose the rooftop as the safest place to set up camp. Once settled, they entered the building and began exploring, moving through dark hallways and abandoned rooms in search of anything unusual.
So the first plan is to investigate ourselves before we leave cameras in here, so then we know roughly, I guess, where we should be putting the cameras.
No, you kind of want to find the areas that's going to cover like all rooms, corridors and most open spaces.
But it's also finding the areas that have got the most going on. If we go somewhere and there's constantly activity or something there, you know, to leave a camera there. But we also haven't ever really had a good look around this building.
No.
So...
just soaking in the atmosphere. Hello? Is anybody here that can hear us?
Oh, the lift shaft. Look at that, just completely open.
There's a horrible smell.
Shit, Jack. Did you hear that? No.
Okay, listen.
No.
Okay, listen.
That's people, isn't it? Hey, get back up. Yeah. Go. Through there. Where? Go. Where is it?
As they ventured deeper inside, faint footsteps started echoing through the corridors. At first, they dismissed the sounds. Soon afterward, loud banging rang through the halls. It sounded as though objects were being thrown. Heavy footsteps moved nearby, far too deliberate to be caused by the building itself.
For fuck's sake. People are paranormal. That was really weird though.
It was like it was people, but then just went.
But they're just throwing stuff around. They were like throwing things into the building and shit.
Are they out there?
No. I can't see them. I can hear them. They were quiet. Because it's not like people have just like come in.
They've not come in
around
chatting and stuff either.
Yeah, there's just random things got thrown about.
Yeah.
From like multiple angles. What are the chances?
As soon as we call out as well.
Yeah, we...
Joe and Elliot turned off their lights and remained completely still, listening in the darkness. After several tense minutes, they continued deeper, hoping to find whoever else was inside the asylum. What they discovered stopped them immediately.
1 minute!
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did you catch them? They were in army gear. There's two of them.
Have they got weapons?
Yeah. They've all got guns and shit.
Are they coloured guns?
No.
Proper like black?
They're proper rifles. Like they're stood like this. They're air rifles. They're rifles. Like a sniper. He's got a full fucking helmet on and everything. Two of them are sat down there where the entrance is. What do we do now?
If they got fucking rifles, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And it's illegal.
They're in full fucking army gear.
And they're waiting for it to get dark.
Yeah.
Get down!
I don't know what they're doing. There's quite a few of them.
How many roughly?
I've seen 4. And they all have guns. Well,
Outside the building, several individuals were visible, and at least one appeared to be carrying a firearm. Elliot counted at least 4 people altogether, all armed. In the UK, firearms are heavily restricted. These were not ordinary trespassers. Whoever they were, they possessed illegal weapons and were operating in a place with no cameras, no witnesses, and little chance of immediate police response. One mistake could have ended badly. Joe and Elliot quietly withdrew, abandoned unnecessary gear, and moved higher in the building to observe without exposing themselves.
Where the f*** are they gone? No idea. Fuck was that? What the fuck? It's like a fucking machine gun.
Listen, though.
Hello?
Is that a voice?
Is that a fucking angle grinder?
We've just checked everywhere. Those people are gone.
And there's now an angle grinder.
But if there's someone here now, there's a voice, isn't it?
It's...
They made their presence known, expecting some reaction. None came. The armed group appeared to vanish completely. Joe and Elliot searched corridors and empty rooms and called into the darkness, but nobody responded. Then the noises returned. Louder. Closer.
It sounds like someone cutting a tree down outside.
What the fuck are they doing?
That's very fucking loud. I don't know what the fuck to do.
Is that outside?
What?
Is that outside?
Fuck this.
Banging crashes and heavy footsteps echoed throughout the building. The group was clearly still there but refused to reveal themselves, even while Joe and Elliot moved openly with lights on. The behavior felt less like hiding and more like intentional observation.
Shit. Have we got everything?
Not the tent.
Fuck the tent. People turn up with guns. Whatever guns, whether they're airsoft, air rifles, whatever, I have no idea.
Well, the thing is,
he heard his name, whatever, so whatever, have you got the ladder? So they brought fucking ladders in and everything.
how
I don't know.
did they get past?
There are multiple ways into that building.
Yeah.
We must have literally walked around the outside when they came in the other side.
They made their choice. Moving carefully toward the exit, they left equipment behind, abandoned the tent, and focused on leaving. As they exited the building, flashlights could still be seen on the upper floors. Someone was still inside and still moving around. Even after getting away, neither of them could completely shake the feeling that they had been watched. They escaped unharmed, but the questions remained. Abandoned places often attract people who want to avoid attention. Illegal firearms, deliberate concealment, and a continued presence inside the asylum suggested something organized was taking place. People with nothing to hide rarely remain silent while two explorers are calling out to them in the dark. If you had been in their position that night, would you have stayed or left the moment you saw those weapons? Vicky runs a camping channel focused on the quieter side of outdoor life. Her videos often feature remote locations, calm waters, and nights spent far away from crowds. The kind of content that makes viewers want to pack a bag and disappear into nature for a weekend. In this particular video uploaded on December 3rd, 2021, she and her friend Amy traveled to a peaceful lake area in the Snowdonia region of Wales. The plan was simple: find a beautiful spot, spend the night, and enjoy the silence.
Here's where we're going. So we think we found quite a little quiet lake spot for tonight. It's near Llanogwan. Hopefully think I've been quite clever in where we've parked and how we found it. And thinking we're going to be fairly alone tonight. See that little dot up there? That's Amy at the top of the hill. And here's me back at the bottom. We forgot the water filter. And we realised when we was right at the top.
After a long hike, including one frustrating trip back down the hill because they had forgotten their water filter, they finally reached the lake. The location looked exactly like what they had hoped for.
So here we are at Lynn. Beep. They've covered up the car park, which is here. There's no longer access to the world's most perfect car camping or van spot ever. But yeah, here's our location.
They set up camp, settled in, and let the evening pass around them. A flock of sheep slowly wandered past the campsite, grazing quietly near the lake. Everything felt calm, slow, and peaceful. The kind of night people imagine when they think about camping in the wilderness.
So the sheep are now making their way around the lake in an orderly fashion.
They went to sleep without any real concerns. Morning arrived without anything unusual happening. They made coffee, packed their gear, and started walking back down the trail toward the car. That was when the entire trip turned into something completely different.
I have 4 flat tires and a smashed windscreen, smashed window, complete with rock inside. Poor car.
I've been on the phone for 57 minutes.
For someone who didn't want us to stay here, they've made us stay here a real long time.
The breakdown people don't cover it. So on the phone with the insurance, I'm going to have to make a claim. But it's not going to be repairable, apparently because of the damage. So it's probably going to be bye-bye car. Even yesterday, somebody else was parked just over there, not blocking the gate as well. Another local person walking to the lake. He saw us probably, I guess yesterday, when he came in, heard the sheep. Because it's not like we're in the way of the gate, so what other reason could it be?
No, nothing was stolen from the car.
The question that remains is why it happened. Their car may have been parked near a gate on someone's property, but it wasn't blocking access. Nothing had been stolen. That detail changes the feeling of the entire situation. When a vehicle is damaged, but nothing is taken, it often points less toward theft and more toward anger, a warning or personal frustration. In remote areas, disputes involving parking land access or private property can sometimes become ugly very quickly. Beside the damaged car, there was also a dry patch on the ground, about a meter long, roughly the size of a quad bike or small vehicle. Whoever was responsible had likely not been gone for long when Vicky and Amy returned. They may have missed the person by only a short amount of time, which makes the discovery even more unsettling. At least Vicky and Amy were safe. Whatever anger caused someone to destroy that car during the night, it stopped at the vehicle and went no further. But the uncomfortable question still remains: if they had returned a few minutes earlier, would they have found only the damage or the person who caused it? The next unsettling video of the night comes from Overland Nomad, a US-based overlanding and off-road adventure channel that documents vehicle travel, remote camping, and wilderness exploration. It is February 24th, 2026 at South Padre Island, Texas.
Take a break from work, from daily life, and come out here in the wilderness and sit by the fire. I think all of us need a little reset every so often. Doesn't matter who, everyone needs one. It's important.
David settles into his beach campsite after finishing preparations for the evening with his dog Piper nearby. He starts cooking fajitas and sets up lights around camp. The beach is mostly empty, with only a few fishermen visible farther down the shoreline. Aside from that, the area feels quiet and isolated. The wind, which had been stronger earlier, begins to calm down.
Cooking, and I was just having to stare through the window, and I see a light like coming up, like someone walking. And yeah, it was a lady. I saw there was a car that went up to the east cut, and I do know that there's one car out there. I could see its lights, and I guess they're stuck. I would love to help, but I'm by myself. There's no one out here, and I don't know if it's a trap.
While making dinner, David notices a light slowly moving across the beach toward his campsite. As the person gets closer, he realizes it is a woman whose vehicle is stuck in the sand nearby. She explains the situation but reacts strangely when he offers assistance. Even when David offers the use of his phone and other help, she refuses. Her behavior immediately makes him uncomfortable. Being alone in a remote area with very little help nearby changes the tone of the encounter. Trusting his instincts, David starts preparing to leave the campsite.
I was thinking about just camping a few miles south. She's like, I don't know how you're gonna go to sleep. I called 911. I called the county just to report it. And then I told them my predicament, and the guy was like, oh yeah, that sounds super sketchy, I'd probably leave.
After securing his equipment and packing up his gear, David contacts local authorities to report the situation. However, he is informed that no immediate assistance can be sent to the area. The lack of nearby support reinforces his decision to leave rather than stay. Even when the surroundings seem peaceful, unexpected encounters with other people can quickly change the situation. In remote places, it can be difficult to know whether someone genuinely needs help or whether the situation may involve hidden risks. It raises a simple question when camping alone in isolated areas. How should someone decide when to help and when it may be safer to leave? CJ Faison is a YouTuber and explorer known for venturing into places most people prefer to avoid. Haunted mines, deserted ghost towns, and locations with unsettling reputations are the types of places he has explored in the past. This time, however, he wasn't searching for anything paranormal. In October 2024, he decided to do something different, his first solo van camping trip. No friends accompanied him, nobody was there to watch his back, and the destination he selected was New Jersey's Pine Barrens, a vast expanse of dense woodland with a long and uneasy reputation. For generations, locals have described the region as cursed. Some associate it with the legend of the Jersey Devil, while others point to a more realistic threat, other people. And because he was in New Jersey, CJ wasn't carrying any weapon, only himself.
I just pulled up. That's weird. Sounds very hollow.
He arrived shortly after nightfall, parking deep along a sandy trail. The moment he stepped out of the van, something caught his attention. The ground beneath his feet sounded hollow, almost as if there was something below the surface. It was unusual enough to stand out, but he continued on. At first, the night remained quiet. He set up camp film content for his audience, and even found a few reasons to laugh. But the Pine Barrens didn't stay quiet for very long.
Alright. Let me tell y'all, some things are getting a little weird. I feel very nervous, because this, like, completely solo. Widener. I'm not really sure what Widener means, but you know, you're in the woods, you're by yourself, you're in a van.
When he returned from a short bike ride, something was different.
Hello? Those two logs are knocked over. The two logs are actually knocked over. I know for a fact that one was standing up, and I know that I'm 99% sure that one was standing up too.
Two large logs he had stood upright before leaving were now lying flat on the ground. Both had fallen over. There was no wind, and no animals could be seen nearby. CJ searched for a reasonable explanation, but nothing seemed to fit. He secured the van, continued filming, and waited. Then noises started coming from somewhere beyond the campsite. Not long afterward, a faint red light appeared near the edge of the area, blinking from within the brush. When he went to investigate, he discovered a flashlight that wasn't his, even though its power switch remained in the off position.
What the fuck is that? What is that? Let's try to zoom in on my camera. Come on. That's somebody's flashlight. Hello? I don't even know. It was a ding or something. Somebody's out here. Obviously. a damn flashlight doesn't fall clean out of the sky.
Somehow it had turned on, and as he hurried back toward the van, things became even stranger.
Whoa! No. I'll fucking beat your ass with this flashlight if I find you.
At that point, it seemed obvious that someone or something was out there.
Alright, come the fuck on. Who's out here? Who's out here? I'm 9,000% sure that light was not on. 9,000%.
Then another light source switched on by itself. CJ stepped back, trying to remain calm as the shadows around him appeared to shift. His cameras began malfunctioning one after another. Batteries drained for no apparent reason. Overheating warnings appeared despite the cold night air. Then a single heavy bang echoed from somewhere near the riverbank.
Oh, no
way. Hello? Listen, dude. Listen. If you're fucking with me, just come out and say it.
In a place like the Pine Barrens, darkness can play tricks on the mind very quickly. Dense trees can distort sound, conceal movement, and make small lights seem farther away or closer than they actually are. When someone is alone, that uncertainty becomes even worse because there is no second person present to confirm what is real. CJ called into the darkness, but nothing responded. Only silence answered him. He walked toward the restroom building to check the area, but there was nothing there.
I don't know about you all, but I'm 9,000% sure that boom or bang came from that right there. 100% came from that right there.
After that, CJ returned to the van and remained inside. He didn't go back out again. All that was left was the low hum of the Starlink antenna and the persistent feeling that something along the tree line might still be watching.
No one tried to break in the van that I know of, at least. I think when I fell asleep, I was just like, ow. I felt way safer than when I'm like camping in a tent, that's for sure.
Morning arrived, calm and quiet. The bike was exactly where he had left it. The van hadn't been touched. On the surface, everything appeared normal, yet somehow it didn't feel normal at all. The Pine Barrens had become quiet again, but it wasn't the kind of silence that brings comfort. Whatever moved through the darkness that night never needed to reveal itself clearly. It had already done enough. Maybe someone was playing tricks on him, or maybe it was simply a series of strange coincidences in the woods. But if nothing was really there, why did the night feel as though it was warning him to stay inside? On March 26th, 2025 deep within the gold-bearing rivers of New Zealand, Polly, from the YouTube channel, Pioneer Polly set out on another extended expedition. His channel documents real gold prospecting, sniping, dredging, metal detecting, and the unexpected moments that come with exploring remote waterways. But on this trip, the river revealed more than gold. It exposed traces of ancient history and hidden pockets that seem to appear only when no one else is nearby.
All right, so officially doing it again. I got no expectations for today. Like I said, I'm down here for 3 weeks and I don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself like I normally do. I'm just gonna go out, see what kind of gold I can find, and ultimately just have a good time. I'm using the shovel here to move the overburden out of the way so I can see the bedrock. Once I see the bedrock, I can start working the cracks and that's where the gold will be. So I suck up the gold by using what's called a snuffer bottle. You just squeeze and let go and it sucks up the gold. Not a bad chunky little piece. All right. Now, of course, when you see a crevice with gold in it, you have to finish cleaning it out, which I did, but there was no more gold inside. All right, more ironstone is leading us to more gold. I just found our second gold nugget. So I went to the very bottom of that hole, didn't see anything else, so let's find a new spot. I'm just gonna get my gear here, head on downstream a little ways, see if I can find one more spot, and then head back to camp, have dinner, and then come back out tomorrow morning. So I just changed spot, and I found a nice little flake in this thin little crack. This one might be hard to fill, but I'll give it a try. What I'm doing here is removing a bunch of rock so I can access the smaller gravelly material that's on the bedrock. Once I'm there, I can sort of sift through it looking for that heavy ironstone and obviously gold as I come across it. Okay, so about 10 minutes later, I've been breaking up some bedrock and now I'm starting to see a bunch of little gold. So let me just film it and see if we can find something else on camera. All right, so day 1 complete. I got all my stuff laid out everywhere. Gonna dry my wetsuit still. We're gonna go back to camp and dump out the gold, see what we have, and then just try to beat it tomorrow. Back at base camp, got the snuffer bottle here, and then we're gonna see what we got in a couple hours. Hurry up.
Ta-da!
We got a special rock.
What kind of special rock set one? You weren't even looking for that.
I don't know what that is. So there you have it. A little bit of gold for a few hours that were in the water. Oh, pretty chunky, which I admire. All right, so I'm gonna go make some food and then I'm gonna let this dry, put it away, and we'll get back to it tomorrow.
Shortly after reaching the claim, Paulie geared up and entered the cold current, working into a narrow crack beneath a lodge boulder. The water pushed hard against the rock as he cleared away gravel, uncovering 2 small nuggets trapped in a hazardous spot where the river folded around itself. It was a reminder that every discovery here comes with risk. But farther upstream, the river held something even older.
Just found the first piece of the day, a little piece of fly poop. So yes, the majority of this trip is to find gold. However, I recently learned that some of the oldest fossils in the world are found right here, so I'm definitely taking my time while searching. So it's been another hour. I haven't been finding anything, but I just found a pile of ironstone and then one nice little flake. Just using my flashlight to look into deeper crevices, and I found a nice piece of gold. So this piece was actually hard to get out. Yeah, a little picker. I made my way downstream to a spot I passed when hiking up. This spot was where I found the first set of fossils and our first thicker chunk of gold. Oh yeah. My tweezers are in my bag downstream, so I'll try to get it out, and if I can't, I'll go get my tweezers. Check this out. I just banked out a fossil. The other half of it is still on the bedrock. Oh, look, another one. Sure, I'll be able to show you this, but I found 2 nuggets. It's in a really tough spot though. So this spot was sketchy to say the least. Not only was I under a rapid, but there was a huge boulder wedged against the cliffside right above where my body was underwater. Gold is never worth risking your life for, but it's much harder to notice that risk in the moment. I sort of just shadowed Reese and jumped in the water whenever he spotted a bit of gold on the bedrock. And after about 20 minutes of this, they were ready for their first cleanup. Some gold there, there. Some more gold there. There's gold everywhere. When you find candy, it's a good chance. There could be candy around.
While Reese operated the dredge, Paulie drifted along a rock wall and examined the formations beneath the water. Embedded within the stone were fossil patterns remnants formed nearly 400 million years ago, exposed only where the current had worn away the surface. They were not gold, but they told the story of a world far older than the present-day claim, and the strongest signals were still waiting in a quieter section of the creek.
Alright, so I have my flash on because it's sort of dark in here. Reese, Jonesy, and I are at the river, but we all decided to split up and try different tributaries. And funny enough, I picked a tributary off the side of the creek, and my very first target I got was gold. It's screaming, so it should be gold, or it should, oh my god. Look at that! Oh my god! Wow, that was quick. Yep, sure enough. That is a gold nugget. It's actually kind of heavy for that size. Probably about 4 or 5 grams. Let's see if there's any more. Bloop. Oh yeah.
A big log you move.
I know, I'm strong. Do you see it? Yes!
Oh, there's another bit.
Yes, look at that. Woo!
No way.
It's another heavy bit. Probably about 3 grams, 4 grams. That is awesome. So Jonesy saw me kick over this log like the Hulk, but now Jonesy's gonna move these 3 big rocks first. No, I'm gonna follow up this crack right here because I think this could be good. Also a lot of work to move it all, but we can work slow. There's obviously gold here. So in the sun, this is what we have so far. That is freaking awesome.
Holy shit.
Hey, I'm kind of, hold on. It does look like that bigger piece we have is a different color. It's almost more white. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Heck yeah, baby. Okay, we're back at Reese's house, and it's time to show you some stuff. Now, all the gold I found for this trip is in here, and we don't have a gold pan, so I'm just gonna have to dump this in the lid to weigh it. But before we do that, some show and tell. So this is a piece of ironstone. Now, it is my favorite piece, one of my favorite pieces, because it looks like an asteroid. It's obviously tumbled, and it's been around a long time. And what's interesting is this is exactly the same kind of rock. Now I found this in a pothole, so it's obviously been spinning around and tumbling for a very long time to get that shape. Both the same kind of rock, both different characters, and both are my favorite. Now this is a little fossil I was able to take back. It's a little shell. I don't know how well you can see that, but I think it's cute, and I'll probably just hide that around Reese's house. Now this rock was actually closed like this, and then when I broke it open, I noticed a whole bunch of fossils in here. They're all shells. There might be like a fish or something I saw earlier. The other side, obviously, the imprints to those fossils. I'll weten these up and see if we can actually see that a little better. It actually made it worse. But anyways, there's some fossils. Now for the candy. We're gonna turn this sucker on, put on the lid. I'm gonna guess, I don't know, 25 grams. 25 grams. 2906, so just under an ounce, or a troy ounce, which is 31 grams, which I believe is around 4,700 Kiwi dollars. I'm not really sure what that would be Canadian or American, but Kiwi is more money, so I just say Kiwi.
Later, Paulie split from the group and followed his detector into a small side channel. Standing alone between steep banks, he tracked a sharp signal hidden beneath a fallen log. After clearing away the soaked debris, he uncovered a heavy nugget around 4 to 5 grams, the largest piece recovered during the trip. It was the kind of find that made the long days worthwhile, and the one he later carried into the final weigh-in, where the total exceeded 29 grams before the journey home. Some viewers believe Paulie may have overlooked richer pockets pointing to ironstone concentrations and weak signals he chose not to investigate. Others noticed unusual moments during the expedition, suggesting the river may have contained more than he realized. If a large nugget was hidden beneath a fallen log, what remained beneath the rocks? He never moved. And in the deeper sections of the creek, did the camera miss something waiting just out of sight? On February 7th, 2024, the team behind Overnight traveled deep into the Navajo Nation, 6 hours from the nearest city, to investigate the infamous Skinwalker legend. Guided by 2 medicine men and bound by strict ritual practices, they entered sacred land where belief and danger intersect. What took place that night would leave the entire group shaken.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How's it going, guys?
Nice to meet you.
How's it going? Good to meet you guys.
How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. Yeah.
Good. Bring it in, dog.
Sean
Clan.
Okay.
So we're your security, we're your bodyguards, your guide. And sometimes when you go into the spiritual world, especially when you're hanging out with indigenous people, you gotta be prepared. Yeah. When you got into that dirt road, that's when you got onto the Navajo Nation. So now you guys are officially on the res now. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready for you all.
Pretty awesome.
So we're gonna make sure you guys are all safe and have a good time tonight. We're gonna get you guys ready too. So
I was kind of scared, but then when I saw you do your little bunny hop, I'm like, ah, we're good.
we're gonna be alright.
You're gonna get a little. Wait, do you have a samurai sword? What?
One of our sacred weapons.
Oh, what?
Oh, no.
Just don't touch the blade.
Really?
Yeah, it is poisoned.
What? With what? Like poison to human or poison to...
To human. I have the herb in here for the antidote. Just
wait, what's on the blade?
Don't touch it.
I know.
Just don't touch the end of the blade.
Dog.
But don't
even open it. You're about to lick it?
In English, it's Black Raven. That's already earned a name.
Black Raven? What does it do? Wait, what?
So,
have you had to use this for humans before?
Skinwalkers. Which are pretty much half human, half spirits.
Wait, have you, like, struck a skinwalker with that?
Take a look deeper into the blade.
Oh, gosh.
What the?
So,
This ash is a blessed ash. The reason for the ash is for protection.
You guys are gonna want to go ahead and like dip your fingers in here. And you're gonna want to go ahead and put it on the bottom of your feet. For the males, you do the left side first, and the females, you do right side. So left, you go left, right, then you do your heart, your back, and your palms, left, right, and you do your forehead. And I will say, personally, if you guys have any relatives or pull out your phones that are on the wallpaper, I recommend you change that to something that's not a family member or something like that. Would you guys like me to go into the origin story of the Skinwalkers?
Yeah.
Here. So the borders of the Navajo Nation are based off of 4 sacred mountains. 2 in Colorado, 1 in Arizona, and 1 in New Mexico. These medicinal people, a long time ago, the spirit taught them how to shapeshift to be able to go to these 4 sacred mountains in a matter of hours. So in that ceremony, they had to gather herbs and learn how to gather those objects for the protection ceremony that they were going to do. Along the way, darkness, to be able to learn how to shapeshift is a long and tedious process that takes years to do it in a good way. Evil came about, and I can teach you how to do it quickly and fast. But there's certain things that you have to do, certain sacrifices. You have to sacrifice your most loved one. The one you hold dearest to your heart, you have to sacrifice. Well, as that's just the first step. There's so many other darker steps that I kind of honestly won't go into, but it's very, very gruesome to be able to go into that. The grave robbers dig them up, get their bones, and grind it up, mix it with poisons. Well, that poison takes 4 days. If you don't get a ceremony, then you will die. So they have bone knives, bone darts, everything that they use in their arsenal. The reason why we have these armors, things here, swords and all that to protect ourselves.
What'd you give us?
So I'm also going to be giving each of you guys another level of protection here. So each of you is going to have an arrowhead. These are your guys' to keep.
Oh, thank you.
Heaven forbid anything happened to us and you guys are running for your lives. That's going to be able to at least stand its ground and protect you guys.
The night began at a remote meeting point where the team entered tribal land under the warnings of the medicine men. Protective ash arrowheads and a ritual blade were distributed as the men described the dark path of a skinwalker. But the atmosphere truly changed once they reached the cave.
Oh my god. Oh yeah? Oh yeah, that's bad for sure. Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Did anyone just realize that we have like the perfect horror movie stereotype group? We have like the stoner dude who dies like second, we have the funny one, we have the chick, and then we have like the asshole. Like we have like the perfect stereotype of like every horror movie ever. So cool.
Clear. Who's next?
We get to go up there?
How you getting
down? What? You didn't hear that behind you?
I'll go.
Maybe it's my mind.
What are we doing?
Was that cave inhabited at one point, or does it just happen to be a cave?
Skinwalker cave up there, the old one. You can see the fires that used to burn in there. This is where they would do the sacrifices. This is where they do the satanic rituals. That cave right there. When you get in there, you'll see it opens up a little bit, and you're able to see kind of little areas where they did their stuff.
Oh god, how the frick did you get up there?
Just run.
Oh, there goes all my stuff.
Just think of yourself like a goat.
I'm a goat. I'm a goat. I'm a goat. I'm a goat. Yes.
Yes. Sounds like a low budget Pokemon. I'm a go.
Yeah, kind of want to go down there. Yeah, try not to fall because these go pretty far. So, I'll be first.
What the? We're gonna do that. Where do you go?
What do you? Careful right here, Corey. There's a hole.
What the?
I think I hear a woman down like that trash.
No. Shh, guys.
Hold it, guys.
Shh.
Tell everyone. I heard like a. Is anyone down there? I don't know what that was. Guys, go ahead and keep going. Keep on coming in. Try to find a spot to chill. All right, we're good.
You look comfortable, Corey. I actually am. This is actually really chill.
So if you guys take notice, the black markings that are right here, this is where they had like a fire inside of here.
Oh.
So this is where they would do the sacrifices and all those other dark things, and this is where those kids were too.
What kids?
The ones in the picture.
Oh, shh. Looks like
pictures.
Looks like fingers or like chalk marks. Right behind you. See where I'm shining the light?
Those 3 right there?
Yeah. Oh, right here.
That's insane. So I guess we can all, I don't know if we can all fit in here, maybe just take turns. Shh.
What is that?
So if you guys notice, when it's completely quiet, you hear a buzzing noise. It's not silence. You hear that buzzing that's like, wee. That's high energy. So it means that there's the energy is elevated in this area. It's very clear. It's like, do you hear that? So when you hear silence, you know, it's like you don't hear anything, but you hear the ringing. Right now it's that buzzing.
Oh, look, there's footprints.
What?
Someone's been here, look. Right? Yeah, that's 100% a footprint. A boot print, boot print, boot print, boot print.
And they said all this charring is from fires.
Oh, all of this.
So they were saying like in that room is where they did the sacrifices.
For the brain. What makes me wonder if they've never been further. You normally have to be like right there.
So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is kind of like how we start with like kind of paranormal investigating and stuff when we talk with the spirits. I'll speak in what I call in English called the spiritual language, and then if need be, we'll go to a song, and that usually opens things up pretty good. So, Colta, if you can just hold still. Yeah. Colta, real quick. Hold my sword. So I don't know if my brother explained to you, sometimes when holding weapons, they don't come because they'll feel threatened or intimidated. So they say the red lights, the little red flashes that you'll see, even though there's no light around, and you just see like a red, like spark almost. Yeah. Those are the essence of the spirit looking at you. And when it's red, it's dark. Yeah. What's up? Like coming in. So that connects down here, right? Yep. So if it goes below, when it comes up.
The irony of like a red light meaning they're watching us, and a red light for us means we're filming them. Yeah. It's like we're hunting them, they're hunting us. Did you see that light over there?
Oh yeah. That way.
Hello? Hey, Frodo, who's there?
I saw it.
Hey, there's so many. There's one right there too, bro.
Saw that, huh?
I saw that right there, yeah.
It
was like right there, glowing, just
literally
white.
from there to there.
Did you see that?
You see
But
that?
the projection. Oh, they're making you look this way when he's over here.
Wait, what? I don't know what to do. I'm not ready to fight, dog.
All right.
We're safe. We have the ashes. You're good.
Does taser work on?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it uses electricity. Electricity, lightning from the thunder beam is an actual substance that can reach into the spirit world.
Inside an ancient cave carved into the cliffside, a faint ringing spread through the group. Strange symbols, a single boot print, and a spirit box responding on its own added to the unease. A haunting chant soon followed, leaving Elton and Corey visibly affected by the emotional weight of the location. Then, outside, the energy shifted again.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. What?
What? I mean, those will be like your oils left.
That's a paw print.
No, right here.
That's a paw print on your gas tank.
But check out the difference right here. Look at the difference. See, these are your fingerprints right here. There's the white right here. Look, check this out.
My truck's open.
What?
The back window too. I left it open on accident.
Oh no.
Well, look at the handprint. I mean, that could be from getting out. Dude, that's a paw print.
Yeah, that doesn't look like the rest of them.
And why would we have touched the gas tank?
Exactly.
Yeah, there might be something in there. Be careful. They could put poison on there.
Wait, they can put poison in the car?
Wherever you touch, some places. How's the truck? Good?
Oh, it's harder to see on silver.
If it was human, it'd be 4. It's 5.
Oh.
Move your leg, brother.
It looks just like that one over there.
Don't be touching my shit.
Hey, yeah, human can't do that. Like, I'm trying to think, like, could anyone have just put, like, your... I guess if you did that, you could maybe, you know what I mean? But, like, that's really complex for a human hand to do that.
Not like these weird things.
Yeah, your finger's almost clean with that.
I just saw something duck down. Something just ducked down behind the rock.
No.
Swear to God on my life.
That one?
Swear to God, right there, something ducked down.
Where?
It was very, very small. Like, it was like the size of like a rat. So it could have been an animal.
Oh, wow.
Guys, be ready. Head back.
They could be trying to put fear in you right now. So you gotta be stronger than that.
Just keep breathing.
Yeah, just keep breathing. You're alright. You guys see that? What? Look at the sky. Holy shit, what is that?
Yo, whoa.
No way, that's a meteor.
Wait, that's is that a saucer?
Starlink.
Starlink?
Starlink.
Those are all Starlink satellites.
Dude, look at the screen.
Holy shit.
Now I feel like I'm about to shit my brains out.
Go, do it on the screen.
Sorry for interrupting, I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, it's all good. We're getting closer. Who's having stomach pains? Corey. Like this. Smell that. Keep smelling that.
Stomach? Yes. Lower stomach. Like even like underneath my stomach, like pelvis area.
As we hear the bird again. You hear it?
Yeah. My brother has some more herbs at the car.
Is it possible? Like this is relation?
Yeah.
Back at the truck, the team discovered distorted handprints pressed into the dust. Red eyes flashed from the darkness, and Corey suddenly collapsed with severe stomach pain. Above them, a line of lights moved silently overhead, before a strange bird-like cry echoed across the rocks. And that was when everything unraveled.
Head back to the truck!
The more they use their light, the more we can see them. There's a clear shot of them to the left.
What the
Oh fuck, they're gone now. There they are again. Barely though. God damn it. Take the camera.
I don't think they were filming. They said you're not allowed to see this.
That's why you're doing this. It means that camera can't either. Pistol? No, they didn't have any firearms. That's a pistol. Yeah.
What the fuck's coming from there, bro?
Really? I swear to God, right now, I'm almost completely fine.
What?
It is now the tiniest amount of pain.
Get the fuck out.
Like, I'm almost completely fine right now.
They must have got him. That's what that gunshot was.
What?
Yeah, so let's keep moving.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. Let's keep moving until we get around the truck, then we can stop to talk about it.
I feel fine. Yeah, I feel completely back to normal.
You were so fucked up there.
What the fuck?
What?
The rest of them got away.
The rest of them fucking got away.
What? What?
Try not to touch it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
don't-
absolutely will not touch that. So what happened?
We chased it
ran over
down.
here. What was that popping?
Oh my gun. I slowed it down for a little bit. He was able to get it. Here.
Oh. Don't touch it.
Is the arrow still in it? Yeah, it's right there. I'm holding it. Very good. Got it.
Oh, fuck.
As Corey's condition worsened, the guides ran into the brush. A gunshot followed. Moments later, they returned out of breath, carrying a torn pelt wrapped with bindings and crystals, claiming they had torn it from the creature. After the pelt was burned, Corey's pain disappeared just as suddenly as it had arrived. The group left stunned, unsure of what they had witnessed. Comments were deeply divided. Some suspected a setup, while others believed something genuinely disturbed the team. If it was staged, how do we explain the timing of the symptoms, the eyes, and the ringing? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.